When you hear that phrase, the American dream, what pops into your head? For a lot of us, it's this very specific, almost nostalgic black and white picture from a totally different time.
Yeah, it's that sepia tone promise, isn't it? This idea of a world where if you just worked hard, you were pretty much guaranteed a better future for your kids. The deal was that each generation would do better than the last. That was the social contract.
But okay, let's snap back to today. That picture looks, well, completely different. It's not a fuzzy old photograph anymore. It's the constant, sharp, high-definition scroll of headlines on our phones. And that old dream, it feels less like a promise and more like a historical artifact.
So to really understand this feeling, this sense that the promise has been broken, we've got to get to the heart of it. We need to nail down what we're actually talking about when we say generational wealth. I think for most of us, when we hear that phrase, our minds jump straight to a massive inheritance, right? Like a trust fund or a mansion being passed down. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. The reality is way more subtle and, honestly, a lot more important for most people.
So a much better way to think about it is this idea of a silent launchpad. It's not just about getting a pile of cash. It's this whole collection of advantages that give someone a massive head start in life.
And here's what that launchpad actually looks like in the real world. We're talking about graduating from college with zero debt so you can start saving and investing right away. It's getting help with a down payment on a house so you're not just throwing away money on rent for a decade. It's even the little things, like having access to a family friend who can get you a great internship. It's a head start in a race where a lot of other people are starting miles behind the line.
And this whole concept of a silent launchpad, well, it creates a real tension. It kind of clashes with this deep-seated belief we have in meritocracy, the idea that all that really matters is how hard you work.
So this really is the central question we're wrestling with, isn't it? Is that idea still true? For more and more people, the answer feels like a really frustrating no. The notion that pure talent and effort will always win out, it's being seriously challenged by reality.
Just look at the pillars of that old dream. Take education. A college degree used to be the great equalizer, your ticket to a better life. But now, for so many, it's an entry fee that comes with a 5-figure debt sentence, chaining you to the past just as you're trying to build a future.
Just look at that number, $1.7 trillion. Let that sink in. That is the mountain of debt we're talking about. For an entire generation, the price of opportunity has become its own kind of mortgage before you even think about buying a house.
And that brings us to the second pillar, housing. For decades, owning a home was the #1 way American families built wealth that they could pass on. But now, with prices just completely disconnected from what people actually earn, that main engine of wealth creation is just sputtering out.
I mean, this chart says it all, right? You see wage growth down here, practically flat for years, and then you see housing and education costs just blasting off into the stratosphere. It's like you're trying to run up an escalator that's going down, only it's getting faster and faster. You can run as hard as you want, but you're just not getting ahead.
Okay, so let's pull this out of the world of big numbers and charts. What does this actually look and feel like for real people? This is where the story gets really personal.
So let's imagine two recent grads, Anya and Ben. They're both smart, both work hard, but their starting lines could not be more different. Anya starts her career 30 grand in the hole. Ben starts at 0, and then gets a gift from his family to help with the down payment. They are running two completely different races from day one.
Now, fast forward just 5 years. The difference is absolutely staggering. Anya has worked her tail off just to get her net worth back to 0. She's finally broken even. But Ben, because of that head start, he's already sitting on a net worth of over $130,000. His wealth isn't just growing, it's compounding.
And this, right here, is the whole point. This isn't about who's smarter or who works harder. Ben's advantage has nothing to do with his personal effort. It is the direct result of that silent launchpad. It's the incredible compounding power of having a better starting line.
So, if this isn't just about individual choices and hard work, then we have to zoom out. We have to look at the bigger picture, at the ladder itself. And what you start to see are a lot of missing rungs.
When you look closely, you see these huge systemic barriers. Things like tax policies that give bigger breaks to people earning money from investments than to people earning it from a paycheck. You see good, stable, middle-class jobs getting hollowed out by automation. And then you have these massive wealth destroyers, like the insane cost of healthcare that can wipe out a family's savings overnight, or childcare costs so high they literally eat an entire salary. These aren't personal failings, They're structural problems.
Okay, I know this can all sound pretty bleak, But the point of this isn't to just throw our hands up in despair. Recognizing the problem is the first step. So now let's pivot and talk about some of the bold solutions people are proposing.
There are some really big ideas on the table. We're talking about major educational debt reform, policies to make housing genuinely affordable again, and taking a hard look at how we tax wealth versus work. And a lot of this has to happen at the community level too. And some of the ideas are really innovative. Things like community land trusts, which are designed to keep housing affordable permanently. Or a concept called baby bonds, where every single child gets a government-funded investment account at birth. Imagine that. Every kid starting life with a small financial foundation, no matter who their parents are.
So at the end of the day, the goal here isn't to get discouraged. It's really a call to action. It's about shifting our focus from blaming individuals to fixing the system, to rebuilding the very scaffolding that allows people to climb.
And that leaves us with this final, big question. The old model feels broken for a lot of people. So, what comes next? What are the truly bold, creative, maybe even radical ideas that could actually reset the starting line and redefine the dream for the next generation?